Bitcoin has never been successfully hacked in 17 years. Not once. And the reason why has nothing to do with passwords or firewalls. It's because of mining. Once you understand what mining actually does, you'll understand why Bitcoin's security is unlike anything else ever built. What's up? I'm Sats, and today we're making Bitcoin mining actually make sense. Let's keep it simple. Here's what almost nobody tells you about mining. It's not really about creating Bitcoin at all. That's a side effect. What mining is actually doing is something far more important. It's securing the entire network. Let's back up. Bitcoin runs on a blockchain, a shared record of every transaction ever made, maintained by thousands of computers around the world. But here's the question that doesn't get asked enough. If thousands of computers all hold a copy of this ledger, who decides which transactions are real? Who stops someone from just making up a fake transaction and adding it to the record? That's where miners come in. Miners are specialized, powerful computers that compete to add the next block of transactions to the blockchain. The way they compete is by solving an incredibly difficult mathematical puzzle. Not difficult like a maths exam, difficult in the way that the only way to solve it is to guess, over and over again, billions of times per second. The first miner to solve the puzzle adds the next block and receives a small amount of newly created Bitcoin as a reward. That's where new Bitcoin comes from. Not a printing press, not a central bank. Miners competing to solve puzzles, earning Bitcoin for the work. This is where most people stop and think, okay, fine, but why does any of that actually matter? Here's why. And this is what most people miss. The puzzle requires real work, real energy, real computing power. You cannot fake it or shortcut it. To add a fraudulent transaction, you'd need to redo all that computational work, not just for the current block, but for every block before it, faster than the entire rest of the network. That's not theoretically hard. It's practically impossible. But this is called proof of work. A bank's database is protected by passwords and firewalls. Bitcoin's blockchain is protected by physics and mathematics, by the sheer amount of energy that has gone into building it. Every block on the Bitcoin blockchain represents real electricity, real hardware, real cost. To rewrite history, you'd have to outspend the most powerful computing network ever assembled by humans. That's why Bitcoin has never been hacked in 17 years. It's not luck. It's the weight of billions of dollars of mining work protecting every transaction ever made. So here's the question that changes everything. If miners keep getting rewarded with Bitcoin, won't the supply just keep growing forever? Doesn't that cause inflation? This is where Bitcoin's design is genuinely clever. The reward miners receive gets cut in half roughly every 4 years. This is called the halving. When Bitcoin launched in 2009, miners received 50 Bitcoin per block, then 25, then 12.5, then 6.25. It keeps halving until around the year 2014, when the last Bitcoin is mined and the reward reaches zero. The total supply is fixed at 21 million, written into the code. No miner, no government, no developer can change it. Mining doesn't create infinite Bitcoin. It releases Bitcoin on a predictable decreasing schedule until the supply is complete. The Federal Reserve can create new dollars whenever it decides to. No limit. No halving. Bitcoin's mining system is specifically designed to be the opposite of that. And here's something worth sitting with. Once all 21 million Bitcoin are mined, miners don't just stop. They keep securing the network, paid by transaction fees. The security doesn't disappear when the rewards run out. The whole system is designed to sustain itself. If you've ever wondered why people say Bitcoin is different from every other currency that's ever existed, this is a big part of the answer. The supply is enforced by math, not by promises. Mining isn't a side feature, it's the foundation everything else is built on. All right, let's bring it together. Bitcoin mining is how transactions get verified and added to the blockchain. Miners compete to solve a mathematical puzzle. The winner adds the next block and receives newly created Bitcoin as a reward. The puzzle requires real energy that can't be faked. That's what makes the blockchain secure. To cheat the system, you'd need to outspend the entire global mining network, which is effectively impossible. The reward halves every 4 years, capping the total supply at 21 million forever. That fixed supply, enforced by the mining system, is what separates Bitcoin from every traditional currency. Mining is not just how Bitcoin is created, it's how Bitcoin is protected. If this made mining click, the next video to watch is the one on why Bitcoin has value. It builds directly on everything you just learned. Stack smart, stay curious, see you in the next stack.